Okay, so today we're doing something a little different, something I know a lot of you have been asking for.
Yeah. Diving deep into detox.
Detox is done right.
Right.
Not the, juice cleanses and all the fads and all that stuff. Like, you specifically wanted to understand, how does the body actually process toxins, like on a purely scientific level?
Yeah.
And then what can we do to support that, hopefully, without, making ourselves miserable in the process?
Exactly. And we've got an awesome source for this, Introduction to Understanding Detoxification, which is so fascinating.
I was going to say, I feel like we need to give a shout out to this source right off the bat because it is dense.
Yes.
In a good way.
Very.
Like, I was highlighting left and right.
Me too.
So yeah, this is one that you're definitely going to want to check out. The show notes, we'll link it there so you can read the whole thing.
Definitely.
But before we even get into, what we can do, I think we have to start with, like, what is our body already doing?
Yes.
Every single day.
Yeah.
To handle these toxins? Because it's not like, we're just sitting here accumulating them and hoping for the best.
Right. And this source really breaks down how it's not just one organ, doing all the work. It's this intricate system.
Yeah, like a well-choreographed dance. But instead of a stage, it's our insides.
Exactly.
This source had me fascinated by the liver, which we all know is kind of like the detox superstar. But when you really break down what it's doing, filtering toxins from our blood, producing bile to break down fats, metabolizing medications, I mean, this organ does not get a break.
Right. It's like a water filtration system, constantly purifying. And what's so interesting is how this source connects that to our everyday lives. Like, you know how important hydration is always emphasized?
Oh, constantly. Drink more water.
Yes. But this source explains why. It's not just this vague advice. When we're properly hydrated, it's like ensuring those internal waterways are flowing, allowing toxins to be efficiently filtered out by the liver and kidneys.
I always wondered about those late-night junk food cravings when I'm exhausted. Could that be my liver sending out an SOS signal?
Well, not the liver directly, but this source might just hold another piece of the puzzle. They dive deep into cellular detoxification and how crucial sleep is for those processes.
Yeah, interesting.
While we're sleeping, our brain is actually hard at work clearing out toxins that have accumulated throughout the day through this process called the glymphatic system. It's like your brain's overnight cleaning crew coming in. So when we're sleep deprived, those toxins can build up and impact everything from our mood and energy levels to even, you guessed it, those food cravings.
Okay, so that's my brain on toxins, not just my willpower betraying me at 11 p.m.
Fascinating. So speaking of things that might be throwing off our natural detox, can we talk about those detox teas and juice cleanses that seem to be everywhere?
Oh, yeah, those are popular.
Do those actually do anything, or is that just clever marketing?
Well, Introduction to Understanding Detoxification actually touches on that, and they're pretty cautious about those kinds of quick fixes.
Interesting. Yeah, they make a good point. Like, your body is already amazingly equipped to handle toxins on its own.
Right.
And sometimes these really intense methods, they can actually do more harm than good.
So it's like using a pressure washer to clean a delicate antique.
Exactly. You might blast away some dirt, but you're probably going to damage it in the process.
Yeah, not the outcome we're going for. So this source really emphasizes sustainable habits over these, quick fixes.
Yes, 100%.
So instead of shocking our system, we really want to support what it's already doing.
Exactly. And a big part of that is our diet. Introduction to Understanding Detoxification goes deep on this, highlighting how important a balanced diet is with plenty of fruits, vegetables, and especially fiber.
Oh, and speaking of food, can we talk about how mind-blowing our second source was? The science behind cooking methods.
Oh, I know, right?
I had no idea that how we cook could actually impact how our body uses those nutrients.
It's wild, isn't it?
Like, I was shocked.
It's one of those things we never really think about.
No.
We're so focused on what we're eating, but this source made me really think about how I'm preparing my food.
Yeah, give me an example.
Okay, so for instance, boiling vegetables.
Okay, guilty of it. Happens all the time in my kitchen.
Right. But steaming is actually way better for retaining nutrients.
Really? Okay, I need to hear more about this steaming revelation because, yeah, I'm a chronic boiler over here.
So when we boil vegetables, a lot of the vitamins and minerals, they leach out into the water.
Oh, no, into the abyss.
Literally down the drain.
Yeah.
But when you steam them, it's much gentler. Those nutrients stay put, so your body actually gets to use them.
Okay, that makes so much sense. The source actually cited a study, I think it was steaming broccoli, and it retained something like 90% of its vitamin C.
Yeah.
Whereas boiling even chopped. It was closer to like 50%.
Wow.
I know. Big difference.
Yeah.
Huge. And all because of how we're cooking it. So steaming good, boiling, not so much. What about the other end of the spectrum? Like, what about when we're talking about like grilling? Because that's got to do something, right?
Right. Well, that delicious char we all love. Yeah, there's a downside.
Don't tell me my grilled veggies are like off the menu now.
No, you can still enjoy them. But this source points out that charring, especially meats, it creates these compounds called heterocyclic amines
Okay.
and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons.
Those are definitely words.
Yeah, they're a mouthful.
They are. But this source wouldn't just mention these, tongue twister chemicals without telling us why we should care.
Oh, definitely not.
So what's the deal with HCAs and PAHs, and why should we maybe not be charring everything in sight?
Well, they're not great for our cells. Over time, they can cause damage, and there's been a link found between them and an increased risk of certain cancers.
Okay, so not great. Not great at all.
Not great. The source cited a bunch of studies on this. It's not to say you can never enjoy barbecue again, but it's about being aware and making informed choices.
So moderation and maybe not burning everything to a crisp every single time.
Success.
So we've covered a lot of ground here, from our organs working overtime to how our cooking methods can actually sabotage our health. But if someone's listening to this, like ready to take charge of their detox game, what are the big takeaways? What should they really focus on?
Well, based on these sources, I'd say prioritizing fiber is huge. Remember how we talked about the digestive system being part of the detox team?
Yeah, like it's not just about the liver.
Right. It's a whole system, and fiber is key for keeping things moving, if you know what I mean.
Keeping things regular.
Exactly. And Introduction to Understanding Detoxification really stresses this. Like, dietary fiber acts like a scrub brush for our gut.
Okay, so it's like giving our insides a good cleaning. I like that visual.
Right. And it goes beyond just, preventing constipation. Yeah. This source highlights how a fiber-rich diet, it can actually change the balance of bacteria in our gut.
Interesting. So we're talking about like the microbiome and all that.
Yeah. And there's tons of research on how a healthy microbiome, it's linked to like reduced inflammation, better nutrient absorption, even a stronger immune system. Yeah. There's a study cited from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition. Really interesting stuff.
Wow. So fiber really is a superhero. And of course, we can't forget about good old H2O.
Oh, hydration is crucial. Like we talked about before, it's essential for those internal waterways to keep everything flowing smoothly.
Flushing out those toxins.
Exactly. And this source actually gave me a really practical tip, one I'd never thought about before, for keeping tabs on hydration levels.
Yeah, what's that?
Just pay attention to the color of your urine.
Oh, interesting. It's like our body's built-in hydration gauge.
Exactly.
This has been such a fascinating deep dive. And honestly, it's made me appreciate my body even more. Like it's doing all this incredible work behind the scenes every single day to keep me healthy. It's amazing.
It really is.
Here's a final thought for you, dear listener, and it's something we didn't even get to fully unpack today. If our cells are constantly detoxifying like all the time, how much of an impact does our environment have? Like the air we breathe, the products we use, all of that.
That's such a good point. We've been so focused on the internal stuff, but the external environment, it's got to play a role too, right?
Right. Maybe that's a whole other deep dive waiting to happen. Well, on that note, a huge thank you to you, our amazing listener, for sending in this question and sparking this incredibly fascinating conversation. We hope you feel empowered to support your body's natural detox processes. And remember, it's not about punishing yourself with crazy cleanses.
Yes. It's about those sustainable, healthy habits that help your body thrive.
Exactly. And for anyone who wants to go even deeper on this, we highly recommend checking out the full sources. We'll link them in the show notes. Until next time, happy detoxing.
Bye for now.
Okay, so today we're doing something a